Hi, and welcome back to Hopefully Helping. It's going to be a bit of a different one today. We've got a bit of a product to show you. We've found it quite invaluable. It's the 31st of December, so I'm just going to get this out and say Happy New Year to everybody.
And I hope you're all being at home, being nice and safe.
That would be a bonus, that you all come back and watch our videos. That would be brilliant. We don't want to hear of anybody who has suddenly disappeared. That would be quite a disaster. Anyway, so without further ado, we'll move along and we'll start talking about what it is we wanted to talk about today. So this is it. It's what we use to aid in sleep for our little one, for Hope. It's called melatonin, and it's just a little bottle. You can hear it rattling. It's got little capsules inside. I'm going to just open this on camera so that you can see what you get in it.
Well, it's obviously caplets.
Thanks, love. It is.
And basically what we do is we mix it in with her yogurt. It's 10 micrograms?
Yeah.
10 micrograms, and we split it apart, stick it in her yogurt, and she doesn't even know it's there.
Come on, auto zoom, auto focus.
I think they get the picture.
Yeah.
There you go.
Anyway, it's just literally a white powder.
Yeah.
We as Joe said, we mix it up in her yogurt.
She don't know it's there.
Doesn't have any taste.
Without this product, what our life would be. I wouldn't have any hair. His hair would be grayer, and I'll be honest. We got to the stage about 3 years ago that we went to the paediatrician, and it could have been longer now, actually, 4 years.
It probably is now, yeah.
And we went to the paediatrician because the doctors were crap, and we basically said, we need help. Gary wants to go back to work. We cannot function anymore. Hope cannot. She just does not sleep. It's just a nightmare. We cannot get her to sleep. Therefore, it's just bad. We were taking her out for a drive to get her to sleep, which was the only thing that worked at sometimes as late as 2 a.m.
Yeah, and it was awful because, this was back when she was, 5, 6, 7?
Yeah.
And even then, she was not a small child. So we were having to get her into the car, which, we've talked about it many times, her disability. She doesn't know how to get in and out of a car seat. So we were having to lift her in. And then when she fell asleep in the car, because that was the whole point of the journey, we'd have to lift her out and I'd have to bear hug her all the way up. It was awful.
And I'd be running in front, opening doors, closing the doors.
Yeah, making sure bottles were set up.
Yeah. And it was just a case of it. We spent about 2 years doing this, if not longer. I don't even know now, looking back, how we did it.
I don't know how we got through that. It was...
When they say that you get to the stage where you think things are never going to get better, they do. They do. So for people that are looking for, watching this, hoping that we've got the magic answer, we haven't, but we have help. So the paediatrician prescribed her 2 micrograms a night, which is nothing really, is it?
No.
I would say it worked for about 4 months.
If that, yeah.
It was nice that we didn't have to go out in the car anymore and get her to sleep. But we found that because we were having to crush it, it was getting her to sleep, but not keeping her asleep, because it's meant to be a slow release. That is still the case now, but when she's older, it seems to do the trick. And I'll be honest, when we spoke to the paediatrician, he was like, he wasn't going to give us any more than 2 micrograms, and it just wasn't enough. And as she got older and older, the fight was just...
It was horrendous. It really was. And
you just got to you just got to do it by yourself sometimes. So we went online and Gary did his research and we found this. Gary's going to put all the information up on where to get this. It is from abroad and it is from a reputable...
You can see the link somewhere
Yeah,
down here.
so I wonder what you was doing. A reputable pharmaceutical... Yeah.
They're called Puritan's Pride. They're a company in the US, but it doesn't really matter. You know,
And normally you get, if you buy 2, you get 1 bottle free, don't you?
yeah,
How many's in there?
There's 120 in each bottle. And yeah, so the last time that I bought some, I bought 6 bottles for the price of 4, something like that. I can't remember the price, I'll be honest.
But they're about £10 each, would you say?
Yeah, and to be honest, 120, so it's less than 10p a capsule. So
And trust me, it's worth it.
Well worth it. You know.
We know that when she hasn't had melatonin, sometimes we like her to try and fall asleep on herself. But like last night, for example, coming up 1 o'clock, wasn't it? And we was like, you know what, I'm knackered. She's quite obviously struggling. So we gave her the melatonin and within 20 minutes she was asleep. It's not dangerous. It's kind of like the body makes it itself, doesn't it?
It does, yeah.
It seems to be that special needs children don't seem to make as much as normal people, children, and therefore that's why they struggle. I think if we didn't have this, Hope would be up pretty much all night and then she would sleep during the day. Where she's not at school, that seems to be taking it at the moment like that. She's going to sleep at 1 and she's waking up at 11, so we're having to pull that back by a quarter of an hour each day.
Yeah.
But we just found out that she's not actually going back for at least another week extra. So we should be hovering around this for a few days and then bring it back. So when it is school, she'll go to sleep at 10 and she wakes up at 7. And that is enough sleep for her all night then, isn't it?
Yeah, you can't underestimate the impacts that these... In the UK, we have these tier system we're currently in tier 4, which is essentially a lockdown.
Yeah.
We're told not to go out. We can't take Hope anywhere. The only place that she ever goes is shopping, which, you know, for a 10-year-old of any mental capacity, it's going to be boring after a while. And she wants to be exploring and doing new things, and we can't do it.
And it's like -1 outside as well.
It's very cold.
And obviously where she's got cystic fibrosis, she can't be in the cold for too long.
So she's not getting worn out. And this stuff, you know, it'll only work when she's tired. We know that.
Although we have put a mattress in the dining room and she's liking going in there at the moment and using it as a trampoline.
Yeah.
So
bed away from bed.
she's getting her own physiotherapy as well as trying to wear herself out. Although she has kind of found that if she hides in the wardrobe, she's kind of liking that at the moment, isn't she?
Her little cubby hole.
Yeah.
We find that melatonin is a complete godsend. We would be lost without it.
We would.
And if you're having problems, we'd urge you to get some. It really does help, doesn't it?
I must admit at first we was a bit, these pills, you don't know what's in them and all the rest of it. But we've been having them now from this same company for 4 or 5 years.
Yeah.
It's a long time, and we've never had any issue. My son that's at university, he struggles to sleep. He doesn't have them every night, but when he's got a test the next day, or he needs to get his head down and just stop overthinking from work and everything else, he really finds it helpful, and I've got to say I do find it very helpful as well. But so it's kind of like a family thing here. So although you don't take them, do you?
It's been known, but I've found that it doesn't really do much for me. I've got one of these brains that just stays on all the time.
You got a brain?
Yeah, it's in there somewhere. It doesn't like turning off and going to sleep.
No.
But there we go. I'd check it out with your GP first. Obviously, we're not responsible for you taking melatonin and overdosing.
No.
I don't think you can. I
don't think you can.
It's naturally produced by your body anyway. So
they classify it as more herbal than
yeah,
medical type substance.
which is why we have absolutely no issue with giving it to Hope. We take it ourselves. We wouldn't give her anything that we think was dangerous. So it's well worth looking into, and just have
Giving
a
yourself a
conversation.
break and letting your child sleep.
Yeah.
There is nothing worse than seeing the hours just pass by and your child's still up there screaming, bouncing on the bed, jumping over the bed, you name it. And it just brings back a little bit more normality.
It does.
I mean, Gary was able to start work again. Without the melatonin, that wouldn't have been possible. But it's New Year's Eve, so I'm going to let everyone get on with their stuff.
We need to go and do a bit of celebrating. Just check it out and make an informed decision. That's all we're saying. We found it very helpful. So on that note, if you like this video, give it a thumbs up.
Thumbs down if you don't, and Happy New Year.
Happy New Year all. Take care.
Bye.
Bye.
Chop some stuff out if I'm rambling.